Hi there, thank you for joining me. So as we age, our hips can become quite stiff and quite weak. And it's really important to build up everything around a hip to keep the hips really healthy. I'm going to show you a couple of exercises that we can do on our side. So really good if you've got a bad back. So let's get on with it straight away. So let's come onto our side when you're ready. And we're going to lengthen through the body. So we're going to have a nice line from the ear through the shoulder, hip knee to ankle, pointing your toes and making sure this top hip is directly over this bottom hip. So it's really important to get your setup nice and steady first. Okay, so with our tummies pulled in slightly, we're going to squeeze the pelvic floor. We're going to lift this leg just level with the hip. And then we're going to start to circle. Now you want to keep that circle really small, so not too big. Just imagine you're drawing a football just on the wall. We're going to exhale as we're moving round and inhale, coming back again. And we're going to keep going, breathing in and out. So we're just mobilizing the hip. We're working these thighs and we're really building up strength in these glutes. Now, if you're rocking, you could bend that bottom leg just to give you that little bit of support. Taking your time. Let's change direction. Now, you don't want to go too big. You want to keep that circle really small because if you go too big, you won't be able to go very long. Squeeze that glute as it goes back. So we're really engaging those buttocks. Exhale and inhale. Breathing in and out. Nice and slow. In and out. So we're just mobilizing and stretching. Taking your time. In and out. Okay, let's hold it there now. And then let's push our leg back so we can really feel the stretch in the glute. And then we're going to come back. Okay, rest that leg. Bend the leg if you need to. Give the outside of that hip a little bit of a rub. Okay, so with the leg extended now, we're going to get a little bit of hip mobility, but also stretching these front of these hips. Now I want you to just lift that top leg just slightly off the bottom leg. And then we're going to bring the knee in. Now, as we bring the knee in, we're going to rotate the knee so it goes up towards the ceiling. So you're opening up at this hip. And then we're going to come gently back again. Well done. So we're going to exhale as we're extending out. And then we're going to inhale as we come back again. Now, remember, as you come back, you're bringing this knee in and you're rotating it up towards the ceiling. But we're making sure this top hip is facing forward. So don't rotate it so that you need to move that hip. It's really important that hip stays steady. We're working these glutes. We're building up strength in that hip. Exhale as you move away and inhale back. Keep that foot really low. I'm almost touching my leg, or I am touching my leg occasionally, just to make sure that foot's nice and low. A really good way of working that hip. Exhale and inhale, nice and slow, in and out. Okay, let's make our next one, our last one. Here we go. And then we're going to relax. Okay, let's bend this top leg, rest it on the floor in front of this bottom leg. Give the outside of the hip a little bit of a rub. And then we're going to swap sides. So let's come on to our other side now. So I'm going to swap ends of my mat, but you might just want to turn over. So let's again lengthen through this body, hand like a tripod in front of us. We're going to bring in the tummy and pelvic floor. So our top leg level with our hip, and then we're going to start to circle. So just keeping that circle really small, nice and steady. You could squeeze the glutes as it's going back, relaxing the head and the shoulders, no tension in the upper body. Breathing in and out, in and out, just mobilizing, taking your time. Well done. In and out. Let's change direction now. Nice and slow. Well done. in and out. In and out. Okay, so just relaxing the head and the shoulders, allowing that circle, not too big, remember, keep it nice and small. In and out. In and out. Okay, let's just go one more. And we're going to relax. Bend that top leg, rest on the floor, give the outside a hip, a little bit of a rub, and then we're going to extend it out. Okay, so when we're ready, we're going to do the same exercise on our second round. So let's bring our top leg just level with our hips slightly, and then we're going to bend and rotate. So remember, we're rotating that hip, we're bending that knee. We're exhaling as we're coming up, and inhaling as we go down. And we're going to keep going, breathing in and out. Nice and slow. In and out. So relaxing the head and the shoulders, no tension in the upper body. Gently mobilizing and stretching, working these hips, working those glutes. Breathing in and out. In and out, nice and slow. Okay, so let's go one more. Here we go. And we're going to extend. Okay, let's pop that foot just on the floor in front of that bottom leg. Give the hip outside of a rub. And we're going to relax. Okay, let's come into a seated position. So that was a really good one to do. Keep coming back to just give yourself that little bit of movement in those hips. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.